Welcome back. I'm Dr. Elise Martin. In the last chapter, we explored the gut methylation neurotransmitter triad, how digestion determines supply, methylation determines flow, and neurotransmitters reflect the system's final output. Today, we move one layer deeper. Because even when digestion begins to improve, and even when methylation pressure is partially relieved, there is one lingering obstacle that can quietly prevent stabilization. That obstacle is peptide load. This chapter is about what happens when proteins are only partially digested, and how clearing that burden can unlock downstream repair that otherwise remains just out of reach. Proteins are not absorbed as proteins, they are absorbed as amino acids. To reach that state, proteins must be broken down in stages, first by stomach acid and pepsin, then by pancreatic enzymes, and finally by brush border enzymes in the small intestine. When any step in that sequence is incomplete, fragments remain. These fragments are peptides. Not all peptides are harmful, but some, particularly those rich in proline, like fragments from gluten and casein, resist further breakdown. They linger, and lingering peptides create problems that extend far beyond digestion. Proline-rich peptides are structurally rigid. They are difficult for enzymes to cleave. When they remain intact, they can bind opioid receptors in the nervous system, interfere with immune signaling, block enzymes like CD26, alter gut motility, increase inflammatory tone. These effects are subtle at first, but over time, they accumulate, and accumulation is the key concept here. Peptide load is rarely an acute issue, it is a chronic one. In a healthy gut, peptides remain within the digestive tract until fully broken down. But when the intestinal barrier is compromised, through inflammation, dysbiosis, or mechanical stress, peptides can cross into circulation. Once there, they no longer behave like food, they behave like signals, or, more accurately, like signal disruptors. They activate receptors that were never meant to respond to dietary fragments, and the nervous system reacts accordingly. Peptides that cross the gut barrier interact directly with immune cells. Some mimic microbial antigens, others resemble endogenous signaling molecules. The immune system does not always respond with a dramatic inflammatory reaction. Often, it responds with confusion, low-grade activation, cytokine drift, altered tolerance. This type of immune signaling feeds directly into somatostatin tone and global signal suppression. Once again, the system slows itself down, not because of danger, but because of uncertainty. Digestive enzymes are often one of the first interventions introduced, and for good reason. They help compensate for low acid, reduced pancreatic output, and impaired brush border activity. Many individuals improve with enzyme support, but sometimes improvement plateaus. Why? Because enzymes reduce new peptide formation, but they don't always clear the backlog. Peptides that have already accumulated may continue to circulate, bind receptors, and interfere with signaling. This is where additional strategies become relevant. Binders are substances that attach to peptides, toxins, or microbial byproducts in the gut and escort them out of the body. Their role is not digestion, it is containment. By binding residual peptides, these agents reduce absorption and immune interaction. Importantly, binders work locally. They do not fix digestion, they reduce burden, and reducing burden lowers the threshold at which the system can re-establish rhythm. Binders are most effective when they are used thoughtfully. Taken too close to meals, they may interfere with nutrient absorption. Taken without attention to motility, they may simply relocate burden rather than remove it. This reinforces a recurring theme. Sequence matters. Enzymes first, to reduce formation. Binders second, to reduce accumulation. Used together, they change the internal environment the system is responding to. There is another component of peptide clearance that is often overlooked: bile. Bile is not just for fat digestion, it is one of the body's primary waste removal pathways. Through bile, the liver excretes conjugated toxins, hormone metabolites, microbial byproducts, peptide fragments. When bile flow is sluggish, due to inflammation, low fat intake, gallbladder dysfunction, or autonomic imbalance, clearance slows. Peptides linger longer, reabsorption increases, immune exposure rises, and again the system responds by slowing down. The gut and liver are in constant dialogue. When peptide load increases in the gut, the liver receives more signaling input. When liver clearance slows, gut burden increases. This loop can quietly sustain dysregulation even when digestion appears improved. Supporting bile flow does not stimulate the system, it allows it to empty. And emptying is often what makes regulation possible. When peptide load decreases, several downstream effects often follow. Reduced opioid receptor stimulation, clearer immune signaling, lower adenosine pressure, improved methylation flow, stabilized neurotransmitter tone. From the outside, this can look like less irritability, more flexibility, improved sleep continuity, reduced stimming, greater emotional range, not because behavior was targeted, but because the signal noise was reduced. For many individuals, peptide rebalancing marks a transition. Before this point, interventions feel fragile. After this point, gains begin to hold. This is not universal, and it is not instantaneous. But when peptide burden falls below a critical threshold, the system no longer has to defend itself constantly. And when defense relaxes, repair accelerates. This content and other content on this channel is for informational purposes only, and should not be considered medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a healthcare professional before making any changes to your health routines or treatment regimen. I'm Dr. Elise Martin, and thanks for spending time with me for another chapter exploring autism. As we close this chapter, I want to emphasize something subtle but important. Peptides are not enemies, they are intermediates. They only become problematic when they linger too long, in the wrong place, under the wrong conditions. Rebalancing peptide load is not about elimination. It is about completion. When digestion completes its work, when clearance pathways reopen, and when the immune system receives clear information instead of fragments, the system stops guessing. And when the system no longer must guess, it can regulate. In the next chapter, we'll look at how laboratory markers and functional clues can help us identify where these bottlenecks exist, and how to navigate them without chasing symptoms.